This is my audience, my friend Brianna and her dad. Okay. Today I am going to be talking about and informing you guys about how caffeine intake can positively and negatively affect your health. Caffeine has many pros and cons on your daily health diet. I care about this topic because I myself have experienced positive and negative effects from the intake of caffeine. Caffeine intake is something not very many people think about on a day-to-day basis. Most of us do not pay attention to our diets and how some foods can positively and negatively affect our health. My 3 main points here are going to be how caffeine helps you, how caffeine affects you, and how caffeine can harm you. I am going to start off by saying and talking about the positive effects of caffeine. There are many positive effects that caffeine can do to your body, but a few I will talk about are your mental performance and physical performance. I know we all have had those mornings where we wake up and are extremely exhausted from the hours of studying the night before. We may have a huge exam that day and we think about grabbing Dunkin' or Starbucks on the way to school. This will improve your awareness. Caffeine improves your alertness and can increase your reaction time, whether they consume caffeine daily or not. Caffeine stimulates the central system and can lower blood sugar and increase the brain's demand for sugar, and this result is only temporary. This is a positive effect of caffeine because it can definitely be helpful if you are not a morning person and have an 8 a.m. exam. Another positive effect is your physical performance. There has been a study by Study Health on recreational athletes. The consumption of about 5 cups of coffee can increase muscle endurance during intense exercise. If you drink about 3 cups of coffee before a run, it can result in significantly improving anaerobic metabolism and improve performance among runners. Now I will be talking about the second point in this speech, how caffeine can have a negative effect on your body. One negative effect caffeine can have on your body is drinking caffeine while having diabetes. Drinking caffeine while having type 2 diabetes can affect this disease because it can affect the blood sugar levels in your body, which prevents you from controlling them. A study published in the journal Diabetes Care indicated that people who have diabetes and consume roughly 4 cups of coffee in a day can increase insulin resistance, which is not good. My grandmother has diabetes and she cannot have very much caffeine. If she wants coffee, she will drink decaf. Another negative effect is fertility and miscarriage. It takes 300 milligrams of caffeine in a day to affect the fertility of a woman. Other studies have shown that women who drink up to 1.5 cups of coffee a day can reduce fertility by 50%. My sister is currently pregnant and she can only have a cup of coffee a day. Actually, like half a cup of coffee, and it has to be decaf. Now I will be talking about my final and third topic of caffeine and how it can harm you. One way caffeine can harm you is if you have an anxiety disorder. I myself struggle with bad anxiety, and I am on medicine to help me. I am currently not allowed to have any caffeine intake, and that is what inspired me to inform you guys on this topic. Caffeine can increase your heart rate and stimulate the electrical system in your body, which can bring on anxiety. Caffeine can make an anxiety disorder worse and should be avoided at all costs in this situation. Caffeine can also affect heart conditions. Caffeine is likely unsafe in this situation and can cause irregular heartbeats. A high dosage of caffeine could even lead to death in this situation. I was actually put in the hospital when I had caffeine one night and I got an anxiety attack from it and my heart rate went crazy. So I was in the hospital for that and on a bunch of heart monitors. So do not take caffeine if you have a heart condition. And to conclude my informative speech, caffeine is not recognized as a health matter to most people today. It is very important to be aware of our caffeine intake and how it can be beneficial, affecting, and also harming on our health. How many of you have actually thought about your caffeine intake and how it can do all 3 of these things to your health? How many of you have actually paid attention to how much caffeine intake you have a day? Remember, caffeine doesn't just have to be coffee. It can be in pop, tea, juices, and much more. Here are some examples of drinks that I have with caffeine. I have this Honest Tea which has 94 milligrams of caffeine in this bottle, which is a lot. I have this Fanta Orange, which has, where did I see that? I think it has the same as 37. Yeah, I think it said it had 37. And then this one has 34 milligrams of caffeine in it. This is the Coca-Cola vanilla. I am not allowed to drink anything that has coffee. Anything that has caffeine in it, I'm not allowed to drink coffee. I'm not allowed to drink pop. I can't have this tea, which sucks because it's my favorite. I'm not allowed to have Dunkin' or Starbucks. I can only have some teas from Starbucks. I think one of them is passion tea that is decaffeinated. I can have that. Any of their other teas there, green tea mostly has a lot of caffeine in it, especially this one. This is honey green tea, so this one has a lot of caffeine. But if you have a heart condition or you have anxiety problems, caffeine can definitely affect you in that way. It has affected me a lot, and but it also can help you in a lot of ways. And if you like to drink coffee and you're not a morning person, I say get coffee if you can have caffeine. I miss having coffee. So, but this is my speech on caffeine intake, and I hope that you guys enjoyed it and you learned a little bit from it.